Hello everyone, I'm Knee High Caliber, and you're watching another exciting episode of Knee High Caliber Plays War Thunder. And we're back on Taratupa today. We're aboard the USS PC-451, I believe. PC-451, alright. This is the other steel-hulled, or iron-hulled, or what have you, hulled, metal-hulled Sub-chaser that's stationed here, the other one being PC-466. But regardless, today we're aboard here. I don't know if you saw it recently, but the OSS sent us some footage from back in the days when this was a British outpost. Basically a captured film from the Germans of a U-boat infiltration that had happened here. And that's got a lot of people stirred up, especially with, I don't know, some of the earlier finds. The plane wing. I mean, it could be a message or something. I mean, who knows? I doubt they're still in the area. Word is that they left the area after the captain was in dereliction of duty. I don't know what he did, but regardless, the real reason we're here, of course, all stories aside, is that War Thunder, the rumor is, may be adding submarines. And it's unsubstantiated. I don't know if it's true or not. It's very likely not, but just in case, there's been one or two things I've seen about it. I don't take it with a huge grain of salt, please. But it would be very, very cool to see that added, especially with that U-boat mod being so good. I think the gameplay for that was the most exciting third-person sort of submarine control that I've seen in a while. It's just very dynamic and felt very real. Very good. But regardless of all that, the real threat here, of course, to the base being submarines. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this ship out today, and we're just going to kind of demonstrate the various attack strategies using depth charges against submarines. This is in case you're unfamiliar with the class of vessel, this is a sub-chaser. And, well, the name is in the purpose for the ship. It's designed to hunt submarines. Very coastal kind of vessel. Its range isn't incredible, but this ship is a sub-killer, or sub-hunter as I sometimes refer to it. And we're going to use it today and demonstrate. I think it has all three flavors of depth charges that I know of currently, minus maybe some, like, I don't know, crazy rocket or something like that. I think that exists too, but much later. I mean, we have rockets, but regardless, whatever. Stop yakking. Alright, ahead 2/3. There we go, pulling out of the harbor. Now, in a vessel like this, it's not really... I mean, it can fight smaller surface ships than it. Boats and things. It's kind of like a mini destroyer in that regard. It doesn't have a back gun. This one doesn't have a back gun. 466 has a back gun and a forward gun. But yeah, the flavor of the day is depth charges. And from the footage, we could see this channel is very deep. Very, very deep. Now, whether or not they sent it as a warning of future submarines coming in from Germany or not, or if it was just to kind of show us a look at the ocean floor here, closer look at least. There's the drop off right there. So yeah, pretty deep. Didn't notice anything too bizarre. The ship in the footage, the HMAS Tobruk, which gets torpedoed several times and later struck one of the mines the submarine released. Yeah, I think they refloated it. I don't think it sank. I think that U-boat captain probably ordered a withdrawal because it seemed like he was pulling out of the area fast. Good coffee. Got shallow in it. Oop, watch the rocks. Alright, so we'll head out into our little test area. Up here to the northeast. Head standard. Yeah, so the armaments on this are one 5-inch gun with seemingly light, explosive, and heavy armor-piercing rounds. We have 1, 2 single Orlikon mounts, and then 2 doubles on the back. So good anti-aircraft cover with this thing. Then we have a rack of 14 depth charges on the back, plus a few hedgehogs, a couple on the front. Sonar, radar, I'm sure, as they're landing on the ship. I mean, I don't have access to it. There may not be radar on the ship. Interesting. Okay, so no radar. Definitely some form of sonar, even if it's just active sonar. Go sail over the wreck of that destroyer that we sunk. That was fun. Not every day you torpedo a destroyer. Where was that destroyer sunk? I think it was somewhere out here. Like around here. Try and ping it. Ping the wreck. Can't even see down there. That's the creepy thing too, is none of the water in the area is really like clear, even though it's tropical. I mean, some near the beach's edge, but other than that. I think I'm still too close to this island. So yeah, these things are small and they're fast, so they can jump onto a submarine pretty quick. They don't really have armor, or decent enough armor to fight a surface ship. Like I said, they're good, I guess, against smaller boats, smaller gunboats. It's really not made to fight that, though. I mean, you can put the machine guns on it. But again, you're only going to do... I mean, they're cannons, they're auto cannons, so they do a little bit more than just machine guns. There's this data gun doing. Alright. So, not knowing really how sonar is going to work in future incarnations of War Thunder, if it does include submarines. I mean, it's fitted on some models. So were the float planes for the longest time. can see the underwater topography on the map there. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. I'm sure one aspect of using sonar is it's going to work better when you're completely stopped, especially these early rigs. So let's get that going there. So the destroyer is still wrecked beneath us, the old Dutch destroyer. Pretty freaky, what have you. It's alright, let's propose we have a... We're not going to depth charge the wreckage because it might release oil and stuff out into the sea. We don't want that. So we're going to simulate a depth charge attack on a submarine off the point of the commander's island over here. We haven't heard from him in a while, but you know, he's always kicking around. He's always scheming up something. So yeah, once you know where your enemy submarine is, what's the threat? Well, it can torpedo you before you get close, if it's pointed at you, or if it has rear torpedoes. Some of them have. It could surface and try to deck gun you, but then it's pretty much why you have this 5-inch gun here, in case you get a submarine. Whoa! This isn't the Philadelphia experiment. What's going on? Okay. So we'll go off the point here. And a good depth charge attack. I mean, you know, you'll know where the submarine is headed. So coming up behind it would be the best attack angle. Because not all of them have rear tubes. So they're completely vulnerable when they're underwater and you know where they are. And then you kind of just disperse them. Maybe incline to drop a couple closer to the submarine. Now that used up a hell of a lot of depth charges, and if you're playing arcade mode, that's not a problem, but any other mode, you gotta really conserve your ammo. You still have the hedgehogs and stuff. Those are your flying depth charges. Which, so say you wanted to make another run on that sub there, and let's say it got ahead of, just a little bit ahead of where we dropped the last one. You can launch one of these things out. And it might not get close enough there, but you can basically kind of see the arc. And that's just one variant to that. There's ones that go further. There's one on each side, so you don't have to wait till the next one reloads, although it just did. So I think we got 4 regular depth charges. And again, the threat a submarine is to you is through it torpedoing you. So you got to play the avoidance game, which, you know, is part of the game already. If you get torpedoed by a PT boat or something, another destroyer out there, surface ship. I think just good speed control and being cognizant of where he is, and trying not to... You can come in at his side and he can't really do anything to you unless maybe he launches some mines. We saw that submarine in the video there in the film. Definitely had mine launching capability. So there's going to be an interesting thing. Not every sub's going to have that, but there might be enough of it. It becomes a problem. So yeah, lastly we have, I think these are hedgehogs, and those are mounted on the front of the ship there. Just launch a barrage of those out. You basically form a little V line into the water there. I guess if you nail the submarine on the side, like bow to stern with that line, yeah, it wouldn't have much of a response to you. So yeah, submarines, who knows if they're coming to the game or not. I think eventually they will if they aren't now, but again, I have nothing to really prove this. It's really just sort of exciting, and I love the mod. Hats off to the guy who created it. It was spectacular. Awesome controls once you get a hang of it. But yeah, who knows if we'll ever see subs again, but this is good knowledge to have, I guess. Like I said, there's other weapons. Depth charges could change completely if submarines are added, because they might change it where you can change the depth setting on it, which is more realistic, because the submarine won't always be at the same depth, so you may have to set it, know how to set it. I mean, it's going to be tricky working that in there, and they're not fast. They're pretty slow, so I imagine a lot of the combat initially with the submarines in a mission, I mean, will be on the surface as they pull into a combat area, and then they'll dive, attack with torpedoes and such. I mean, we'll see if it happens, but suggesting moving forward in this mission that it is happening. Yeah, depth control for depth charges. Later you're going to have like anti-submarine torpedoes and missiles and things. I mean, you've been watching Cold Waters too, you'll kind of know what's going on there. By the way, look out for future episodes of that. Just a little plug. I'm going to be doing the dot mod on that. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, that's pretty much the attack strategy for that. I think in terms of, we'll sit back, close the episode out. I think in terms of what types of submarines you're going to see here, I mean, definitely U-boats, maybe not the full-size ocean-going ones. Initially, you may see a lot of like coastal patrol submarines or mini submarines, what used to be called something else. That'll be interesting. There's a lot of really funky projects with submarines that happened during the war. Like the mod suggests, mine-laying submarines, mini submarines carried in by larger submarines. They were at Pearl Harbor. All kinds of stuff. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, there's going to be a strategy. It's going to change the game a bit. The ocean-going battles, especially. And then we're going to hopefully see some aircraft anti-submarine weapons. That would be nice. Some aircraft depth charges, things like that. Maybe the helicopters. I know there's a few Navy helicopters in later iterations of the game. All kinds of stuff. But anyway, I want to thank you for joining me. I know this was kind of a explanatory thing here. Yeah, I mean, sub hunting is not difficult. It's really harder being on the other end of that, and until I have a workable example that I can show you with that, which is more official, I would say, or at least a U.S. Navy example. One I can talk about. Until we have that in hand, I don't think the 14th Fleet is going to be seeing anything in terms of that. But we'll see. There's a lot coming out about it. There's some bugs with it. I hope they fix them. And yeah. So again, I want to thank you for joining me. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. I am Knee High Caliber, and this has been Knee High Caliber Plays War Thunder.